That was cool.
It is pretty cool. And you know what's really cool, Dave? It's Tuesday. Unfortunately, JB is not here because it is his birthday. So everybody wish JB a happy birthday. He's at our putrid Yankees versus the White Sox. I'm sorry that he has to go to a game of two teams that really aren't living up to expectations, specifically the Yankees. But he's got great seats. He's behind home plate. So wishing JB a very happy birthday. I
think JB 3, but he looks like he's like 70, with how much he smokes.
That's correct. That is exactly
correct. How old is he?
I think he's like 43 or something like that.
That's correct.
Somewhere in the 40s, but he looks older than that.
Well, JB, you're not here, and this is what happens. We're going to make fun of you.
Happy birthday.
We're not sorry.
Probably working.
I don't really apologize for that one because, you're not here. That's on you. I know Deb was nice enough to get you these lovely tickets, but, that's what happens. Anyway, it's Tuesday, which means Sideline Sports is on, and that also means it's my favorite question to ask every Tuesday. Dave, what's the taco situation?
I shared this last week, and Jake, I'm so glad that you called me out, and a couple of people actually have chimed in and said, what the heck's up? What's up with the tacos? Because I told you last week, Anne Marie has just taken it on her back to ensure that I've got tacos, and then she grills
because
up.
She's the best.
Oh my gosh, she is the best. And she grilled up these killer shrimp tacos. And then shrimp fried rice to go alongside it. I'm kind of wishing every day was Tuesday, man. So, I can't wait. Till I mess something else up, and then she'll step in and fix it and make it better.
Dave, is this your way of telling us that you should just start messing up like little things in your life so she makes, I forgot this at the store. Now she'll just go to the store and go get it. Oh man,
Jake,
I don't have any gas in my car.
Jake, she's watching. Yeah. Come on, man.
Jake doesn't quite understand how to navigate the
the female life. This is the thing. I don't have to play this game, where I have to pretend like something's wrong. If I just want something, I just ask.
Oh, you're in the honeymoon phase.
You grunt and point.
Hold on. I don't think after 3 years it's a honeymoon phase anymore. I think we've moved past that a little bit.
Hey, look, if you're talking like that, you're in the puppy dog honeymoon phase.
I don't think so. I think it's just.
I think he's in that. I can't believe he's still together phase. That attitude.
That's it, Dave. That's absolutely correct.
All right, hey, let's talk some sports, man.
Yeah, let's.
All right, John. You were very adamant before the show, and I was saying, "Wait, save it for the show. Save it for the show."
Hold on. Hold on. Before we get to our topics, I just want to make sure we bring up this logo so everybody knows what you can expect coming in the future. Hawk Talk. Bring back up the Sideline Sports, but I want to make sure we point out that Hawk Talk will soon be on the NFL Alumni Network.
Yep.
And
next week will be our first show. We were going to try and squeeze it in this week, but then Gus Farrat, who runs the NFL Alumni, we still have some other production side
things behind the scenes.
It's housekeeping stuff.
So we'll get it done, and the guys are ready. We're chomping at the bit. Awesome. It's really been kind of cool. Thanks for pointing it out, John, because we've got the 12th man, the NorCal Seahawkers already behind us with their following, the SoCal people. We're all SoCal guys, and there's 2 places that already want to host us for some live shows. So we're going to be doing some cool stuff.
For sure. Awesome. And not to mention, when you do your first show, you'll be able to talk about the Seahawks preseason game because they'll have played one already. So
you're a smart man.
There'll be Seahawks football to talk about.
There'll be some stuff.
Seahawks football.
For sure.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited for this.
Good stuff.
All right. So now can we talk about the other topic, John?
Yeah, whatever you want. You're the host. I hate hosting.
I'm the host.
We're talking about me and my tacos and my.
But I'm asking for your permission because before you told me no, I'm not allowed to talk about it. So I feel like I have to ask your permission, dear. Am I allowed to talk about what I wanted to talk about?
Seems we're in the honeymoon phase too. Yes.
I don't think so, John. I think we're way past that.
we're at the hateful, hateful been married 35 years stage.
7-year itch. You're the
That's
70
right.
big.
That's right. No, so before the show started, John, you made a great point of something we wanted to talk about, and I absolutely had it on my mind, and it was funny because I knew you'd want to talk about it. You're an O's fan. It just makes sense. So I kind of want to just give you the floor, bring up the topic, kind of give the people the background, because I know Dave, he had a somewhat understand, he had a grasp on what was going on, but not necessarily the full picture. So, give the people a little synopsis. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, unless it's Vin Scully or somebody like that, you're probably not going to know each team's announcer. So why would we bring up the Orioles announcer? Well, if you didn't catch it on Twitter or anywhere on social media last night, where the one site had 40 million views, the video they played, the original video about it. Basically, Kevin Brown was told back in July when the O's were at the Rays. The O's have been terrible playing at the Rays the past couple of years. O's have been terrible. They haven't made the playoffs since 2016. And apparently the owner doesn't like whenever that's brought up by his announcers. And so they made a graphic about it, but the announcer, Kevin Brown, was told not to say anything about it. And he did, and he got suspended for it. Wow. And everybody in the world basically took outrage. They were outraged. They were taken back. And I'm curious how you guys feel about it. I think it's being made a bigger deal than it is. I have my own thoughts and opinions. It took time to I didn't tweet really about it. I just basically said that this guy's stock, no matter what happens in this situation, his stock is way up. And whenever he leaves Masson, where he's at with the Orioles, whenever he leaves Masson, which will be soon, because he already works for ESPN on the side. He's already done that before Masson. He does like smaller games, but he's going to get paid. And his stock is way up, so either ESPN or another MLB team will sign him, and he's going to get paid handsomely. But what do you guys think of this situation?
Well, I think this. I think if you don't want people calling your team crappy, don't build a crappy team.
That's a very fair point, Dave.
I think you're just stating the obvious. And secondly, John, he's just reading the graphic. It's not like he just came out of it, and pulled it out of his pocket and started banging on the team. He's acknowledging what announcers do, and that is, hey, Sideline Sports, you put up my graphic. We talked about it. We put stuff up. We talk about it. But man, for an owner to get butthurt about calling a bad team bad, that's just I don't know. We've had some discussions about some bad owners, and there seems to be more and more of them.
I mean, listen, the Orioles were really good in the late 90s. Then from the beginning of the 2000s until about 2014, about 2012, that's when they started to get good again. That's 12 years.
Then they took a quick dip back.
And it was really bad. Then they took a quick dip. They got back into playoffs like 2014 ALCS. 2016 was the last time they made the playoffs. And then they've just been awful since. So this year's the first time they finally gotten back to being good in 7 years. And you and your team. So also, Jake, he was the only one suspended, but the people that made the graphic, people,
you read my mind, John.
Associated with it, that are facing no repercussions. I just think that's interesting.
You kind of read my mind as to where I was going with that because, and Dave, you also kind of hit on it when I absolutely agree. As an announcer, yes, they have their own thoughts and opinions. There's no question about that. But when you put up a graphic, there's a couple things about it. Not only is the announcer, he's going to talk about it because their graphics team is putting it up for them. It's a cue of some sort, but more importantly, it means that they're in their script that they worked on. Even if when I say script, it's not a little script that they're going to say word for word, but it's an outline of here are the things that are going to go over. Here are the graphics you're going to see, and here's what's going to happen during the broadcast. And we're going to, we're not going to give you an exact time when we're going to put it up, but we're going to give you an approximate. We're going to try and get it in, and maybe this inning at around this time, whatever. So not only does his team know, but he knows it's coming. I understand the owner may not like it, but it's not his fault. He's doing his job. He was given a script. It's like an actor. If you don't like what an actor says, don't get upset at the actor unless it's ad lib. Get upset with the writers in that instance, because actors and broadcasters alike don't necessarily just make up everything they say. Now, broadcasters do more so than actors probably, but there's a script that they're handed, especially when there's a graphic. Deal with it. And then, Dave, I loved your response. Just don't feel the bad team. That's on you. Like, You construct the team. If you don't like it, look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing wrong? How do I fix it?
He's been a penny pincher for forever.
Yeah.
Letting guys walk that need to be re-signed.
That would be like
that deserve a big contract. He's like, no, I don't want to pay that guy. Bye.
It would be like if Oakland owners just go, man, this team sucks and I hate it. And then didn't decide to look in the mirror and realize, all our good players leave after, like 1 year of being good because
that's kind of what they're doing now.
Or we trade them. It's the same thing. You can't be upset about it.
It's kind of what they're doing now, except they're just moving the team to, to Vegas and just saying, screw you, Oakland. It's kind of what they're doing now.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I personally, this is how I feel. Like I said, I took time to think about this, and I don't agree with the reasoning for John Angelos doing what he did, the son of Peter Angelos. Peter Angelos was a penny pincher. John is as well. It's like having
family.
Yeah, it's like having Darth Vader, as your family member. Like you're a chip off the old block.
Well, Luke wasn't.
Yeah, Anakin was.
I'm not even going to go there.
Anakin and all them.
I'm not even going to go there because you know what? For those who don't know Star Wars, they don't realize how silly what you just said was. But you really just, John,
saying all them were.
I'm not even going there.
Anakin, Darth Vader, and all them. They were all bad. Like So I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, I don't know what you're saying. Anakin and Darth Vader are the same person, John.
If you use an analogy and you have to explain the analogy, it's probably not a great analogy. I don't know. I don't know nothing from Star Wars. I saw the first one. I saw Darth Vader breathe into this mask. It was really kind of cool.
Okay, James Earl
Jones. I'm a big Chewbacca fan just because I look like Chewbacca.
James Earl Jones.
Dave, just so you realize, Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader are the same character.
I thought they were brothers.
No. Anakin Skywalker. All right, I'm going to give a very quick episodes 1, 2, 3 are the newer episodes.
I think we better have a different channel for that.
That's all about Anakin. Anakin grows up, becomes Darth Vader. Darth Vader is in the original Star Wars trilogy. It's the same person. Luke is his son.
At the same time,
Luke is his son. And so John is saying that would be like being Darth Vader and Anakin. It's the same person. It doesn't mean anything.
All right.
And his son
once again.
So John made no sense.
If you have to explain the analogy, probably not a great one.
So I think that actually Kevin Brown was in the wrong here. Because if you're at your job, now I'm not saying that I think that the owner's an idiot for that being his reasoning, but if your job tells you not to do something, then you should not do that. You're hired. If your job says don't do that, don't say that, and you go and say that, which he did, he was instructed, hey, don't comment on the graphic, let it be, let it sit, don't say a word. He talked about it, and he got in trouble. So if you're at your job and they tell you not to do something and you do it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get in trouble. Again, I don't agree with I think the reasoning's stupid, but at any job, you're expected to be a professional, and he wasn't a professional, and he got suspended for it, rightfully so.
Well, wait, didn't you just a little bit ago say that his stock went way up?
Oh, yeah, his stock's going to be up no matter what.
So let's go back. Actually, what he did was brilliant, because think about it. He's announcing the Orioles. I didn't even know the Orioles still had a team. So now, he's like, how do I get out of this contract announcing this horrible team? And I'm like, look at this graphic. Yeah, these guys suck. All of a sudden, his stock goes up. They're going to break his contract, probably let him go, and then he's going to go get paid. Exactly. And probably announce something like the Dodgers, who actually then, people know you exist.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You're not wrong, but I'm just saying, like, I think that it was.
I guess the question really was
risk. I think he took a.
The question really was, though, for John, I guess, is did he do something wrong? Yes or no? And the answer ultimately, in John's opinion, was yes.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do his job, but man.
I mean, I think it's a stupid reason to get suspended, but when you're in that profession, you're on that high of a level. You should be able to be a professional, and he was unprofessional in that instance, and he got suspended for it. So rightfully so.
So now, is this Kevin Brown? Is this guy who's a pitcher? Wasn't he with the Dodgers?
No, that's a pitcher. This guy's just a scrawny announcer.
Just an announcer.
Kind of looks like
he's like John,
tall and skinny.
So wait,
you're not tall.
No.
The only thing I take fault with, or not fault, issue with rather, is he is the only one that got in trouble. Like, and I understand they told him don't speak on the graphic, and that's fine. But I guess my thought is the graphics team made it. If the owners don't want this negative attention, shouldn't other people be in trouble for like creating this graphic that does bring this negative attention?
So, but who's on whose payroll?
They're on Masson's payroll, which Masson's
none of them are technically on the O's.
Owned by
so if one head rolls, they all have to roll. I mean, the guy put up the graphic,
right?
If the graphic wouldn't have been up there, he would have had nothing to talk to.
Exactly. That's kind of my point. Is if one person was guilty of that mistake, then I kind of think they all are. You know what I mean?
Now we go down the common sense rabbit hole, where common sense has eluded our whole society.
That is also very true.
Not part of Orioles ownership.
Dave, I don't know what common sense is. I've never heard of this.
Yeah. Well, there's
Dave. Common sense for most people is like getting John to answer a yes or no question. It's just not going to happen.
Ain't going to happen.
You've learned well, young Skywalker.
Oh boy! Oh, here we go.
John, I appreciate it, but I don't think many people around here are going to appreciate that comment.
So, is there any other baseball news? Is there anything going on in baseball worth talking about?
Well, I don't think Ohtani's hit a home run lately, so these other outlets like ESPN can't go crazy. So no, I don't think, because apparently only Ohtani can do something.
Yeah, only.
So no, Ohtani hasn't done anything lately. So nope.
No,
is he still leading though? Is he still leading the?
He's got 40 home runs. He's unbelievable.
He's got 40.
It's ridiculous.
He hasn't hit one in a couple of days. I haven't heard anything.
A couple of days, he might die.
Yeah, but I think didn't he have a 10 strikeout game and a home run
He had multiple home runs in that same game.
Yeah,
I think he had a 2 home run game and 10 strikeouts.
Come on, man. It's just fun to talk. That's just good stuff, man.
I mean, that was like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, but it's still impressive.
He's got the samurai hat. He's making it fun to watch, at least. I think that's.
I hope they make the playoffs. I'm like, I want them to make the playoffs probably more than I want the Yankees to make the playoffs at this point, just because Shohei Ohtani in the playoffs would be so electric. I mean,
and if they
I saw what he did in the WBC. He was so into it.
Is Trout's wrist? Is he still hurt?
He's always hurt.
Yeah, no, but he's resting up for the playoff run.
Maybe they got to make it there.
Right, they will.
I mean, Jake, he hasn't played. He hasn't played since July 3rd. All right, Dave, do you want to go to your topic first, and then I'll take mine?
Well, what is yours?
Well, he's surprising us.
It's that's the fun of it. I talk about topics with you guys before the show, and then I keep like one kind of hidden in the back pocket. Just
right, that's fair.
Good stuff to talk about. So that's up to you. I mean, do you guys want? It's the mystery pick, or do you want to go Dave next?
Yeah. Well, guys, I think everyone's read about this, and it's just the demise of the once great Pac-12. Growing up in Southern California, watching Charles Davis, watching USC, student body right, student body left, that dynasty, watching UCLA football. The Oregon teams were horrible back then. Washington teams were okay. And, Stanford was a perennial cow. It was just a fun conference. It has over 100-year history. And to watch it just blow up, could you imagine being at the helm of that? You're talking about billions of dollars to these universities all told, and it just went. First of all, you let USC and UCLA go, which I think I think they're going to regret that. I think the travel's going to kill them. I think going East Coast and playing in that weather from schools that are just used to being in Southern California. I think there's better decisions they could have done, but that's where it started. The leak in the dam, and they didn't stick their finger in, man, and they just let it go. Whoosh, gone. And for them to think that they could bring Mountain West schools, believe me, hey guys, I played in the WAC. I played in the Western Athletic Conference with San Diego State. Now in the Mountain West, But to think that they could pull those teams and call it the Pac-12, Fresno, San Jose State, the New Mexico, whatever, and call that the Pac-12, you're even doing it a bigger. Just let it die. Let it die a beautiful memory.
Not gonna happen.
But man,
it's not gonna happen.
Don't bring those teams in and call it the Pac-12 because it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
It's not gonna just.
You kind of stole my thunder, Dave, because I was gonna ask you about the Mountain West. So how do you fix it? Do you just let it die, or is there anything you can do to save it?
I think the other 4 teams will just be absorbed into the Mountain West. Stanford might go solo because Stanford's got money.
Yeah,
Stanford's program is flush. Cal is upside down. Cal's been teetering for years. They're not a great product. Nobody really cares
Aaron
about
Rodgers
Cal,
last
nor
time
the
really cared.
Oregon or Washington State. Those are both both schools that could easily be in the the Mountain West. So it just let Stanford go on their own, kind of like what Notre Dame did forever.
It's worked with Notre Dame, yeah.
They had Notre Dame TV, and like I said, they've got the means to do it, but the other programs are upside down, and they need the money just to keep their programs alive. So they're going to need to do something. They're subpar teams. They're Mountain West teams, to be honest. So we don't get excited about playing them. When you're a San Diego State fan, or as I San Diego State, we played Cal, and we really didn't care. But when we played Stanford or UCLA, it's the same division. But because really Cal was considered on par with us, and those other teams are powerhouses.
Could you put some of them teams in the Big 12? That would limit some travel, right? That's not that far for teams on the West Coast to travel to the Big 12.
Well, but it's a lot more than going to Utah, Northern California, Southern California. The only other one is Hawaii. Hawaii is just, I don't know what's going
right. But I meant if you want to avoid putting those teams in the crappy Mountain West,
right?
Then would the Big 12 work for those teams?
Yeah. The Big 12's got, of course, they've got their powerhouses as well, and then they have the subpar, the stepchilds that they just get kicked every week, and every once in a while have a decent season. And the other discussion has been for San Diego State to go there. I don't know. I don't know the theory behind that. The travel there, that us lining up against Texas or some of these other schools, just it doesn't make sense. I think the Mountain West. I think it's a solid conference for what it is. The talent all seems pretty equal. We go up against a Boise, we go up against a Fresno. It's very competitive, and they're great games. And I'll tell you, I really wouldn't get too excited about rolling into Texas and getting stomped 61-10. It just doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun.
Here's the thing that you guys haven't talked about. One really important thing, though. So this is bad for a lot of people, but it's also really awesome for those who are big college football fans, because the Big Ten just got, that much better. When you think about the day you could have for just Big Ten football on a given Saturday, just bear with me for a second. So we add 2 West Coast teams, one that's 2 hours behind EST, one that's 3 hours behind EST.
You're crazy, Jake.
You could potentially – what?
You're crazy. Whatever you're going to say, it's wrong.
You could have, theoretically, on a given day, Penn State versus Ohio State at 1 o'clock. Then you could have Michigan State versus, let's go with Maryland. Let's go Michigan State versus Maryland at 4:25. This is all EST. Then at about 7 o'clock, you could have a West Coast game. So you could have the University of Oregon versus Nebraska. And then for a night game at 10 o'clock, because on the East Coast, it's late, but the West Coast, it's a couple hours early. It's just a late start. Exactly. It's a little bit of a late start, but it's earlier than an 8 o'clock game. It's really not that crazy. You could have something like a Michigan versus a Washington, or a Wisconsin versus a Washington. Could you imagine that day of football? That would be awesome. So
UCLA, we played UCLA at night, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
San Diego State, we played Saturday nights at 7. That's when we played. That was our game spot. I don't know why.
But
That's why we got no notoriety. But to your point, Jake, yeah, it could be. And talk about every single one of those matchups are like, yeah. I mean, I'd be down to watch that game. You know,
there's plenty of negative. Don't get me wrong. I'm not for a second denying that there's negative.
Yeah.
But for these programs that are moving, this is really huge for their revenue because their ratings are going to go through the roof because they're going to be playing these other teams. They're going to get more available spots to play. Consumers are going to be ecstatic because of the games we're going to have available to us. So I agree. It really puts some of the smaller schools, so to speak, really left in the dust. And it is unfortunate. I do think some schools will get picked up. I don't think that anybody's going to get completely left out. I think it's just they're left out kind of right now because of the way things are moving. But, they'll find their home. But between ACC and Big Ten, it is going to be awesome every Saturday.
So here's what really sucks. I've been involved with the Rose Bowl for years. What's the Rose Bowl going to do? Because it's always been, the Pac-12 winner against, and and now that iconic game, over 100 years, iconic, is just has no relevancy at all. I mean, maybe it wouldn't even exist. They'll completely rebrand it, and it'll still be a game. But what's it going to be?
Won't have a similar meaning.
Yeah. Is it going to be part of the playoff? But here's the other thing. Here is part of the Rose Bowl is New Year's Eve day.
Yeah,
that's it. That's right after
college
the Rose
expansion
Parade,
also.
Right after the Rose Parade. So, gosh,
the playoff expansion screws that up too, though. You have to remember that the fact that things are expanding, it does throw things off a little bit as well.
Well, they rotate those games every couple years. They rotate, like the Rose Bowl, that'll be a playoff game sometimes.
No, I know.
I know. This year it is. This year it will be. But it's going to be a couple days late.
Okay.
Yeah.
The money, and I get
the money screws everything up.
It really does, man. Because us old guys like stuff the way it was, because that's the way we like it, right? But that's what we liked, and that's what we grew up with. And it's the new era is done. I will be interested to see what those schools' transfer portals look like. I haven't looked into that, but
that'll be fun.
Man, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to play New Mexico. I didn't sign up to play in
it'll be interesting.
University of Texas El Paso. I signed up to play, in Palo Alto and the Rose Bowl and the Coliseum, and so
Yeah, I get your point, but you know what? Change is inevitable. I hate to say it. I hate to be like the person that's like, oh well, obviously
but sometimes
change
is a bad thing. Sometimes
I don't disagree.
This is a bad thing, guys.
But my point is, this you knew and I knew and everybody else knew this was all inevitable. Like we've seen this change coming, not to the Rose Bowl, but like the realignment for years. We've known this was coming. It was just a matter of when, not if. So I guess my thoughts are, I knew, like most people, I knew this was coming to an extent. I didn't know what extent we would see this, but I knew there was going to be a realignment. I knew teams were going to move. So I knew things were kind of going to get shook up a little bit. So I'm not so heartbroken about it, I guess is the best way to put it. Just because I prepared myself.
Yeah, I've got 58 years of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a little more difficult, or a little more.
No, of course.
A little more different for me.
Living in Penn State. For me, I'm not a Penn State fan. I'm a Florida fan, but Penn State's obviously where that's like the main college for college football in PA, right? So since 93, Penn State and Ohio State have played. They've played one another since 93. This year will be the last year that Penn State and Ohio State play once a year. After this year, when 2024 hits, they will not play every year anymore.
I'm sure they'll find a way to make that happen.
No. Like there's called protected rivalries, which Ohio State and Michigan's a protected rivalry. They did not put Ohio State and Penn State on that list.
What about SC Notre Dame?
I don't know. I guess that'll depend on what happens with USC and Notre Dame's their own thing, so that'll be a non-conference game. So that'll probably continue. That'll
Okay.
probably just stay part of their non-conference.
Yeah,
We're
right.
just talking about like your conference games.
We're talking about the interconference games, which now get messed up a little bit.
And because there's 18 teams now, and it'll be two separate wings in the Big Ten, Ohio State and Penn State won't play every year anymore. This is the last year where you're going to see that.
Those rivalries are so fun to watch.
And that's a big rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
but you know what?
Around here, you've seen those two. They kill each other, and those games are always so fun.
Think about it from this perspective for a second, if you will. Imagine this. It's late at night. Penn State whiteout versus Oregon. I can't tell you that doesn't sound kind of awesome.
Like, no, it does. It does.
And so, but it doesn't have this.
I know, but I'm trying to find the light in all of this negative, which is this is going to be really, really fun. Like, this is going to be awesome. I know it's a big shakeup, and tradition is great. Don't get me wrong. That would be like if the Yankees and the Red Sox couldn't play every year.
Exactly.
I totally get it.
But that's what makes college
But something else will take its place in terms of that awesomeness. And even though it won't be the same thing, it'll be something else that I'm going to go there and I'm going to look at that and go, that is absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait.
But
and
in
so
the
that's
NFL,
the way you have to look
MLB,
at it.
You don't have to have the rivalries for the sport to be great. College football needs those rivalries. That's what makes it stand out. It does. It has to have the rivalries in order to succeed. That's what makes college football fans so.
Yeah.
One of the reasons they're so passionate is I guarantee Dave is like, man, I can't wait until we face like UCLA or USC or whatever, like one of those teams where you're just like, man, I hate those guys and I can't wait till we face them because, man, we're close to them. We live near them and I just hate them so much. Like, there's just something about that rivalry where you live close to that team and you just hate one another. But just to get rid of that because it's all about money and you just want these power conferences to exist. 18 teams in a conference is just stupid to me. Like, why call it the Big Ten if you have 18 teams? It's just
no, that I agree with.
Yeah.
That I've always felt that way. But here's the other thing that I'm gonna. My last, try to find a positive is this. We were talking about the Rose Bowl, Dave, and this is kind of how I'm trying to think about it. Right? You, theoretically speaking, with Oregon now being part of the Big Ten, right? You could technically have the equivalent to like 3 or 4 Rose Bowl matchups in a given year now, when you think about it. So I know it's not the Rose Bowl. It's not the same, but the matchups are going to be there. You're going to have those teams facing off in regular season games. So you might have a Rose Bowl 3 times, the equivalent to 3 Rose Bowls throughout the season. So I know maybe it won't be the same because it's not the Rose Bowl. It's not that, time of year. It's not that same feel. And, it's not going to have the Rose Bowl stuff on the TV. I know, but that's pretty cool still also that.
Yeah. Well,
the idea of like, wow,
when you bring the matchup possibilities in, and the thing is that it just won't be the Rose Bowl as we know it, which is Pac-12, Big Ten, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, but now, because sometimes those matchups weren't all that great.
Right.
Because you're getting the second ranked team out of the Big Ten because the top one's going for the CBA or for the playoffs,
CFP.
right? Yep. And then sometimes the Pac-12 just didn't roll out a very good team, and so you got Wisconsin playing Stanford. Okay,
yeah. Wisconsin,
it's the granddaddy of them all, so we're watching that dang thing, right?
Yeah.
So now we don't have that. We're not stuck with any one division. And you get pick and choose, and everybody wants to come out here and play in the Rose Bowl because there's big money. It's big money for the schools. I think it's like $10 million per school to play in that game. And then, of course, just playing in the granddaddy of them all, playing in the foothills of Southern California. It's always sunny for the Rose Bowl. So it's just, I think the Rose Bowl will be fine. It's just going to change its dynamic a little bit.
Also, think about how this affects the other sports because it's not just college football, right? These teams play baseball or they play basketball.
Yeah.
All those sports are affected too. College basketball is also built on rivalries too. Yeah. They're big on their rivalries. Yeah. And now you kind of like, maybe the Pac-12 wasn't great and football hadn't been great in a while, but they've had some good basketball teams.
Success. Yeah.
So you kind of like UCLA's tradition.
Yeah.
I mean, their rich tradition of
Yep.
basketball players through there. So you change a lot, not just in football, but in other sports too, mainly college.
Yeah, but you know what?
Basketball.
Think about this, John. UCLA, Indiana, two of the biggest powerhouses in basketball in college. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Well, but guys, going back though to that travel, to play one of them on a Tuesday, then you get back home. Well, but basketball's Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, whatever it is. It's twice a week, and that's a lot of airtime for these West Coast teams to be playing in those.
And then you got to go and study
on basketball.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's hard.
It'll be interesting to see if they just go out there. Because I know when we played, and I know I brought up the fact that I played basketball. So when you guys are done laughing, when I was at San Diego State, we actually were then in Colorado Springs, and then we stayed and we took a bus over to Wyoming in a whiteout. Oh my gosh! First of all, white knuckling. If you have not been through the mountain passes of Colorado to Wyoming, 7,000 feet in a whiteout in a bus.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty scary.
I don't want to fall off a cliff and die.
That sounds horrible.
I'm glad it was at night, so I couldn't see the cliffs going down.
Oh my gosh!
In the wise words of Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, I'd choose life.
Yeah. So we have some of those carryovers. It just logistically didn't make sense, but it's just exponentially more when you're doing it all season long.
Yeah. Well,
all right, Jake. Hey, what's your big surprise, bro?
Well, it's not that big of a surprise. Well, the topic is not a surprise, but the contract is, because I'm sad JB wasn't here, and I didn't really think about it when I thought of this topic, because this is probably his favorite player besides like Garrett Cole in any sport to make fun of. And we all know he doesn't like Garrett Cole. I don't really understand it, whatever. But JB probably more than anybody loves to make fun of Anthony Davis, aka as JB would call him, and John and I have certainly to an extent affectionately started to call him Glass Joe. That is, he's always hurt. It's true. But just a couple days ago, a 30-year-old Anthony Davis, which, by the way, when this contract kicks in, will be 2 years from now, he will be 32 years old. He has a 3-year, $186 million extension. I don't know what your thoughts were when you guys first saw this, but I did very quick, very simple math. On average, what do we think he plays? 60 games a year, probably. Maybe even less, but we'll call it 60 for fun.
I'm going to say 60 if he plays he can be in the race for all those awards.
Right.
Because you got to play a minimum number of games.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, that he plays 60 games a year at $186 million over 3 years. Does anybody know what that is over each year?
Enlighten.
No?
Mm-hmm.
It's $62 million.
Yeah,
so what does that mean?
$1 million a game.
$1 million a game. And let's just go a little further, shall we? Just because we can. At $1 million a game, let's say he plays 30 minutes, maybe. I think I'm being a little generous with that, probably, because he's Glass Joe. But let's say he plays 30 minutes. Every minute, Anthony Davis, who will be hurt inevitably and probably play less than 60 games per season, would be making $333,000 per minute.
No.
Just because
33,000. 33,000 at 30 minutes.
There you go, Jake.
Well, no.
He's right.
You're right. But let's just for the sake of even going crazier, because I love to torture myself, let's break that down per second what he makes. Gentlemen, he makes over $550 every second, whether he's that's just when he's on the floor. That is astronomical for somebody who probably won't even play that many games per season. I know the market has gone that way, but this is just ballistically stupid. I mean, have you ever heard about called pissing money? That's what's happening. These guys are just throwing it away.
I remember whenever that breakdown happened when A-Rod got his contract with the Yankees.
They did the same thing with Garrett Cole.
It did, and it was like, I think it was like over $30,000, like a pitch or something like that.
Or
something
at-bat,
crazy.
Per at-bat.
Yeah, like each pitch was like $30,000 or something wild like that. And pitches, like at bats last like 4 or 5 pitches typically. So this guy would make like an insane amount in each at bat. Like when they broke down all the numbers, and it was just, so I remember whenever that happened to A-Rod when he went to the Yankees, he got that giant deal. And
do you understand that at Anthony Davis's salary, I said, what did I say? Like $33,000 per minute?
Yeah.
Is that what I think that's what I said?
Yeah.
So, do you understand that that's like what some people make in a year? Like,
but I mean, he earned it. He worked really hard. Athletes work really. I hate the people that say, "Well, athletes are overpaid." Like, no, the dude is really talented.
That's not my point.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, the dude's really talented. He worked extremely hard to get there.
Yeah, but
so he earned his money. He got his money. I'm happy for him. Never mad at the bag that these athletes get. Just
you're right.
Athletes get to have that life, and I'm not jealous of it.
You know what I'm mad at, John? I'm mad at the Lakers thinking that this was a good idea. I understand you don't want him to go, but he's got 2 more years.
You have to have. You had to ink him down. You had to.
I wouldn't, because honestly, I hate to say it, when this $186 million extension starts, he might be in a wheelchair at this rate.
No, but
he can't go at it. He is so consistently hurt.
You can't go at it if you're the Lakers as though he's going to be hurt. You have to go at it as though he's going to be healthy, because LeBron's about to retire.
That, but
like, he's about to retire. He is your future. Anthony Davis is your future of the franchise, and you want him to be the future of the franchise for the next 5 to 7 years. And you like to look at it as though he's going to be healthy. If you look at it, he's going to not be healthy, then why keep him? But who are you going to get better than him? That is a generational type talent. He's just often injured.
You want me to be honest with you, John? A lot of guys would be better than him.
Who are you going to replace Anthony Davis with?
Somebody that'll be on the floor 82 games, 80 games. That's my issue. I'm afraid by the time that they start this in 2 years that he's going to be really banged up, more so than he already is. He's a big body, and I'm sure Dave can tell you, big bodies playing basketball, it's not easy. Like, especially his style of play, he's a very physical player, especially when he attacks the rim, right? That is going to continue to hurt him, and he's
Anthony
constantly
Davis
hurt.
At 82 games or at 60 games is better than the majority of the players at 82 games. Just so you know.
Yeah, but what happens when he gets knocked down to 50 games? 45.
He's still better.
And the thing is too is that yes, he's a star and he's a great player, but I've not ever watched a game and just watched him dominate and take control. He scores his 30, but he doesn't dominate a game. It's not like that's where the ball is going and hey, stop me, like with LeBron or any of those guys. Hey, stop me. You can't.
2020, he did that against us in the finals. He absolutely obliterated us in the finals.
John,
so
right.
I will say, I remember
3 seasons ago.
Haunted by this guy in the 2020 finals. He absolutely murdered us.
Okay.
So
how old he was in that, John? He would have been 27.
That's 3 years ago, buddy. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I remember this guy demolished.
That'll be when this contract extension kicks in. It's 5 years later. That's my
I know
my issue in all of this.
Hey, as we were talking about the Lakers and and their talent, and they got that one kid, a decent shooter. And I just saw something, the roster for our Olympic team. Mm-hmm. Have you guys seen that?
I have not.
You're not missing anything. I don't even know. The only cat I knew was that kid because he comes in and shoots every once in a while. But if he's not, I forget what his name is. But I was looking at that roster, and it's almost like we've conceded. Okay, we got enough gold medals. We'll let somebody else have a chance.
I wonder if a lot of these stars just think it's not worth putting extra mileage on their bodies.
Well, it isn't anymore because it's really it's not even a challenge for them either. It's just like the Harlem Globetrotters playing the Generals. They just go out there and do whatever they want.
I meant in the sense that I wonder if they think because of the contracts they have in the NBA that it might not be worth their
Well, you're
time
right.
because it could affect their
It's
contracts,
Of
in the
course.
NBA.
Yep. But it used to mean something playing for the country,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and then those first years, when and you had Barkley and Jordan, and I mean, it was like
and now
Bird,
your best
Bird,
guy is Anthony Edwards, who, don't get me wrong, he's a very talented young man.
okay.
But outside of him, I mean, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Paulo Banchero, they're okay. They're not, they're good players. I think they're solid, but it used to be, you had like Dave said, but you had LeBron, you had D Wade, you had
Kevin
Carmelo
Durant,
Anthony,
yeah.
you had Dwight Howard. I mean, Kevin Durant. It was just a who's who of stars, and now it's more like who. That's what you're doing. I look past the first 5, 6, 7 guys, and I'm like, okay, I recognize Austin Reeves. That's cool. Bobby Portis. Okay, but I'm like, who's Walker Kessler? Like, no, and I'm just calling him out, but it's nothing personal. But it's like, if he plays in the NBA, I'm not a huge NBA guy. You guys know that, but I certainly know enough. I pay attention. I can talk about it. I can hold my own. I have no idea who that is. Like, if he plays in the NBA, I wouldn't know. I literally have zero clue. I would be none the wiser. I could see him on the street and just pass by him like it's absolutely nothing. I'd never know.
I wonder, when are the Olympics, anyways? The Summer Olympics, right? That's summer.
I don't know.
Next year, probably.
The soccer team just got knocked out, so I don't know when the next 2 years.
Oh yeah, the soccer team got knocked out. Speaking of that, I thought we have Raphael. Is he waiting to come on? He said actually. I think it depended on his bags getting through.
Security.
Getting through the airport's always a bitch.
Yeah, so we'll have him next year because he said football, the important sports coming up,
right.
and so he likes to be on for that.
Hockey will be around the corner soon too.
Can't wait.
Well, actually, he didn't bring up hockey at all.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
He said football. Yeah.
You know what? That's fine because there's at least 2 hockey fans on this panel today.
Huh.
So today you're outnumbered. But yeah, I just getting back to the whole Anthony Davis thing. I mean, I know JB's whole thing was it's the market. That's cool, but I don't know. If I'm paying $60 million a year,
you have to.
$500+ per second. I would prefer the guy be healthy and be on the field most of the season. But
you have no choice if you're the Lakers. You have no choice.
I disagree.
Give me a better option.
You might have to just wait it out just till next year, just to see how he goes. And you may have to say, you know what, LeBron's going to leave. Anthony Davis is not what he was. We have some decent pieces, young guys. Maybe we sell them off. We just blow this thing up and start all over. It's not optimal, but this team is kind of an
That's not the
spot.
Lakers' way. That's not the Lakers' way to blow it up and start over. They don't typically do that. They like to retool, but they don't typically just tear it down and restart over.
Then why not trade away Anthony Davis, not this year, but the next? If LeBron is still there, you just keep him around because he's LeBron and do what you can. And
but who would take his contract?
Yeah, it's a big contract.
Yeah, who would take his contract?
Well, that was before you signed the stupid contract. That was the point. Yeah, my point is you trade Anthony Davis before you make this contract extension.
Right.
Now you kind of pigeonhole yourself where you're right. Who the heck's going to take the contract?
Nope. Now
the Lakers are going to have to hope that Anthony Davis is healthy, because if he's not, then the question really is, John, what do they do? I don't know. At that point,
build around him. It's the only thing you
got. But I'm saying he's not healthy. The contract backfired. What do you do then?
Oh, you just tank.
That's not the Laker way, I thought.
I didn't say you don't have to rebuild. You just tank and get your draft pick and add him in.
That's what I just suggested. And you said that's not the Laker way.
No, you said tear it all down, like get rid of him.
Yeah, that's tanking.
All over. Yeah, they're not getting rid of him. Like I say, he's a top 5 talent.
So to change the subject,
Yes. Finish us off.
Yeah, I got to do something really pretty cool yesterday. We get invited to do a lot of things, but yesterday I got to play golf with 4 Medal of Honor recipients.
Oh my gosh!
And I got them to sign a football and a book, and I was completely unaware of this. We just recently had the Hall of Fame inductions, which is the best of the best ever. I think there's about 370 Hall of Famers. I don't know, John, you probably have the accurate number because you were there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Revis overrated.
Yeah. So, there's been a few that have. Terrell Owens overrated it. But then there's guys like Jesse Sapolo that should be in there. But getting back to these guys, getting back to these heroes, I think there's what they said was there's 67 living, and we had 4 of them at this event, man. And it was an honor to be there, to hear their stories of what they did to receive that medal, and hear their perspective of where we're at, with the world and so forth, and the threats that are facing us, and what that looks like. It was a great day. I get a chance to do a lot of fun things with other athletes, but to be able to spend the day with these guys, we went to the dinner the night before, Emery and I, and had a blast. So I think we need to kind of do a better job of recognizing our military and supporting them, and we get a chance to do that a lot here with the NFLPA. Next week, actually, it's kind of cool going to the veterans event with Greg Townsend and a bunch of guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, to the American Legion, so the largest American Legion, and we're doing whiskey, cigar, and steak with our veterans.
Oh,
does that sound like a horrible night?
Oh, that sounds terrible, Dave.
I'm
not interested.
I'm not a big
I like whiskey
guy,
and steak.
Yeah, so. But it's right on the water in Newport. You guys got to get out here and start doing some fun stuff with us, man. We have a really good time supporting our veteran community. And
this flies me out, I'll come out.
If somebody can get me off work, and more importantly, can afford to fly me out there, I would love to.
Yeah,
Dave, we're not all retired like you and JB.
Yeah, well, I'm not kind of retired. No, maybe I am retired.
He's half retired. I wouldn't say he's fully retired.
Know.
You are an NFLPA president last time I checked, so I'm fairly confident that's
not a paid position, Jake. It's all volunteer.
No, I didn't say it was. That doesn't mean you're retired. That would
still
work, isn't it?
Position.
Well, yeah, it is work. I'll tell you how much I have to suffer. I just got invited to go play a celebrity event in the Bahamas. All expenses paid. Yeah,
Dave,
we have to stay at the Atlantis. I don't know if you guys
are even invite us.
Anne Marie better get you in bed and start rubbing your feet, because you poor thing, you're on your feet all day. I know it's so hard being
you. Yeah.
One of the Bahamas.
A rough life.
Yeah. You are one lucky man. I mean, I know there's more to the job than that, and I'm sure there is, actual work that is not that easy, but man, that sounds fantastic. Can I come?
This might be the first time in history where a +4 has to become a thing instead of a +1. He's got Anne Marie, JB, John, and Jake. So he's got to have a +4. Ask him if there's a +4.
Yeah. Well,
and if there's only a +3, we know we're moving, right?
Actually, we're going to be there. I think we'll do the show from there. And then
oh, nice.
Yeah. And then we're doing a celebrity. There's a celebrity golf tour now.
That's awesome.
Ron, I think you guys probably even know him, is running it. So we're gonna be playing out at
you know what?
I know Ron.
Ron Grant?
Probably, what's her face's husband?
No, Ron Washington.
No. You guys,
no.
Anyways.
Oh, John, you know what I'm thinking about, don't you?
I have no idea.
Jen Wren. Isn't her husband's name Ron?
No, they're not married anymore.
Oh, all right. Oopsie. Sorry, Jen. I don't keep up with this kind of stuff. This is not what I worry about. I keep up with sports, not who's married to who.
See, everyone's gonna wish JB comes back, because he's the one that keeps us on track. We're
like JB. You got time to do it.
Yeah, Ron Foster.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Not what I was thinking.
Yeah, he launched this thing, and so he's flying a bunch of us out to Salt Lake at the end of September. Yeah, so we'll do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
I
Love it.
think
Love it.
tonight might be like the most rabbit holes we've went down in a show, maybe in
why?
the history of an episode. We went
because
down a lot of
JB's not
rabbit
here.
holes tonight. It's
That's
because
right.
JB's not here. I blame him.
JB's
and
not
his
here,
birthday.
and JB can be a party pooper sometimes. I mean, he keeps us on track, and I appreciate it. But sometimes he poo-poos on my parade, and I don't like when people poo-poo.
He couldn't have had his birthday like a month earlier, or like a day earlier, or
whatever.
celebrate your
You know
birthday
what?
yesterday.
Bro,
Who goes to
Hey, we had a great
he's
time.
sitting behind home plate watching his guys play.
At a White Sox game.
That beats.
He's watching for the Yankees.
That beats.
I don't
us
know. He
all day
hates
long.
Cole.
Yeah, Cole's not pitching, so everything's fine.
Believe me, guys, I'm here because I got nothing else to do. So if I had something to do,
Dave, that's why we're all here. Don't you know that by now?
Like once
John's
I find
avoiding his
something to
wife.
do.
I'm avoiding Kayla. Sorry, Sharon.
You're not even married yet, and you've got the marriage language
Yeah,
down.
Dave's not married either, but he's
Yeah,
avoiding
he's
Anne Marie.
engaged.
She
He's
knows
engaged.
it.
He's already
yeah.
married. He's engaged. He's already there.
Hey,
yeah, we are.
so
And
all
I'll
right,
make
let's
sure
go
I
around
invite
the
you
horn,
guys. All right.
boys. Wrap this up, Dave. I know you're just Dave, but if you got to,
Yeah, I know. And I'm just Dave. I might actually have to upgrade that. I'm actually starting to do some stuff, so I might have to actually tell people, where they can catch our show. It's going to be on the NFL Alumni Network as well. It's Hawk Talk. We're going to have the 12 on there. We will have a guest every single week, and then we will have a fan that will be able to come on and chop it up with our guests and other people. And the only way to get on that, guys, is to watch the show. And we'll pick somebody. We'll pick somebody viewing, and we'll invite them on next week. And we'll be doing some live events here in South Orange County. Trey Madden, USC, and Walter Thurman, Legion of Boom, Super Bowl champ, are my other co-hosts. And so we're gonna have a lot. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
You said that they're gonna come chop it up. Did you mean they're gonna come talk with you?
Talk it up. That's right.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. That was really bad. I know, but it's a clever name, and it lends itself to some good jokes.
Man, that was good.
That's a nice golf club.
Thank you. All right, John.
Oh yeah, man. NFL Alumni Media. You can definitely find me there at all the NFL events. Whether it's the Hall of Fame or Super Bowl or NFL Draft, you can find me there. Sideline Sports, most important place, most important face.
Oh, I haven't heard that one in a while. I did not miss that.
It's been a while. BlueHawks13 on Twitter. Of course, I don't tweet much, but you can follow me anyway, just because, why not? I don't know. That's me.
Because you're John Shearer. All right. You guys can find me on Twitter at Jake_Malik. JB, who is not here, you can find at JB_the program. It's amazing. I remember that still. Not my social media, but I gotta give him the shout out. Happy birthday, JB! And then last, JB, of course, anything you see scrolling across the bottom of the screen, that is where you'll find us. It's all the social medias, all the everything. I'm Jake Malik. That's John Shear. That's just Dave.
Be good.
One more thing, Jake. One more thing. 3 weeks
Dave,
until I kick your ass in the fantasy football draft. 3 weeks.
You're gonna lose.
Remind
the people what they're supposed to do.
Wait. Am I in this, or did you guys already kick me
No,
out?
you said $25
No, you said it's not
too
enough money.
little for your liking.
What?
Yeah, you said it wasn't enough money for a buy-in.
We will talk about this offline. Tell the people what they're supposed to do.
Be good people.
That's right.